Welcome. You're tuned in to the Tek Thyme podcast.
Tek Thyme podcast.
Tek Thyme.
Tek Thyme
Podcast.
Tek Thyme podcast.
Tek Thyme and I are podcast.
Welcome back.
I'm so sorry, guys. Welcome back to the podcast.
Yes, if you're new, thanks for joining us. If you are a longtime faithful,
Welcome back.
this is the Tek Thyme podcast with Ty and Fee. And
How you doing?
you know, we get on here, we eat some food. You're gonna hear a lot of plate marks and stuff today because we're live in full effect.
Yeah.
As a continuation of our series of interviewing and bringing on guests, we have another special person today that has graciously decided to join us before she flees the country.
Flees the country. She ain't on the run. Or maybe she is.
Perhaps. Tune in to find out.
This time on Young and the Restless.
So, without further ado, let us introduce Roushelle Rain to the podcast. Thank you for joining us.
Yay! Thank you for having me.
Yes. On the menu side today, we have a little hodgepodge of stuff. So we got some kind of brunch selections going. Got some fried chicken, some salad, omelets. And we've already well gotten into the first bite. So we're just going to go into the reactions of the people. Fiona, if you would so please give
My
us
egg's a little fresh as always. You know, sometimes he slips, you know. The cheese could have been, you know, aged a little bit longer. As always, it's fantastic. Ty makes the best omelets. So this is fantastic. I'm enjoying my omelet. I'm enjoying my salad. Shout out to Mom, Ty's mom, for this amazing dressing. It's fantastic. And we're having fried chicken in honor of Roushelle, who is palate is very delicate and
Correct.
cannot do the fishies.
No.
So yes, the fried chicken is really good though.
I'm glad.
Mix
I
it
was
up
not.
with some little pepper sauce and ketchup and.
Yeah, I was not sure how that was gonna go because
I think it's fine. Okay.
you know, trying the air fryer life. I wasn't sure, but it worked. But anyway, let's get down to brass tacks.
Ooh.
Roushelle, thank you for coming on. Tell the people about yourself a little bit. Just give them a little intro on what you do, kind of what inspired that, and we'll go from there.
So again, my name is Roushelle Rain, and I am a creative strategist. I started out as just like a brand development, brand designer person, doing the websites, doing the graphics, doing everything. But then, as the years grew by, or flew by, I should say.
Right.
Damn. As the years flew by, I sort of just picked a niche. Just keep niching down. And now I don't do full graphics anymore. It's straight brand development, the strategy, the design behind it, the photo shoots.
Right.
And just like conceptualizing a person, a product, or things and experiences. I love working with product-based businesses, but I do love my service-based businesses too. And I stay with entertainment, the arts, the fashion, the beauty, that kind of world, the lifestyle.
Right.
It's what I was raised in, it's what I know best, and it's what I enjoy the best. So yeah.
That's dope. So she's also a big fan of Korean dramas. So if you just hear some random noises, it's not another person, it's her. So like, what inspired you to? Because you do work for yourself now.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to make that jump from being like employed to like going self-employed?
First and foremost, I didn't plan on being employed at all.
Okay.
So Shanika has the book that I wrote that I was 10, and I said I was going to be self-employed. I didn't care about being, belonging to a company.
Right.
However, going through university, college, whatever, I worked in the, what do you call that? Retail?
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked in retail. And the same week I graduated, it was the same week I said I quit. But,
oh, shit.
because I planned out everything. And my manager knew. She was just like, she's not staying here, but she's just,
Okay.
Yeah. And it was great
So it
that
wasn't
I
a
had
surprise?
that job. No, because she knew. And it was great that I had that job and that manager because it was very flexible. So you know how retail is, especially over here.
Yeah.
It's not that flexible.
Not at all.
If I don't want to do that specific shift, I'm not coming. And she knows it. So she only puts me for shifts after we've discussed, what my schedule looks like. And it was fluctuating at the time because I was teaching dance. I had like 4 different jobs. So
in true Jamaican fashion.
yeah. So I was teaching dance on Saturdays, and that's when a lot of foot traffic.
Yep.
However, I can't do Saturday mornings. I can only do Saturday afternoons, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the schedule was pretty flexible, and that was the last full-time. So I was working part-time there. At school, I was a vice president, so that was full-time, and then I was also teaching dance, so that was another part-time. And I was doing something else. I don't remember, but I was doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was doing the pageants.
Okay.
So I was coaching, producing, and competing.
Competing.
Yeah, at the same time. So that was going on for roughly.
Where did
maybe
you find time?
I don't know. Everybody used to ask me that. I don't know. I just didn't do anything else. I didn't have like a
social
life.
Or
I didn't know. I didn't.
Sleep schedule.
I hang out with my friends when I take them to the events with me.
So
to keep my company.
Bring friends to work day.
Yeah. That's basically what would happen.
Or she needs an assistant for the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't hang out much.
Still don't.
Yeah, I still don't.
Okay.
Yeah, don't say didn't.
Yeah, I still don't. Yeah, she
still working on that work-life balance. I see.
There, yeah.
Is she?
Maybe not.
Let's talk about. You said, sorry to cut, but you said just to get something. I want to not forget it.
Mm-hmm.
We said you niche down to being a creative concierge or a
creative strategist. Yeah.
Strategist. What does your clientele look like? Because I know that for a while. And I know her personally. She's one of my best friends.
Aww.
I know that for a while there was that conflict, that internal conflict with finding not only your niche for what you want to offer, but your niche for clientele.
Yeah.
So where does that sit right now? Because I know the young upcoming entrepreneurs want to have this type of
niche
service. To have someone help them find a place to put their brand,
right,
or themselves. So where do you fall into that?
I would say for upcoming business owners or entrepreneurs, my best service for them are consults. It's not the design aspect. It's consult to figure, get them clarity. Because a lot of them, they come full force with so many ideas under one roof, but they always trip over themselves. It never really works out, but then sometimes they don't even know why it never worked out.
Right.
But it's really just clarity. The first thing about business is making that one decision and going from there, right? So I would say my consults are my best. So it's a brand consult or a creative consult. So if you think you've developed somewhat of a brand already and you want to really push some creative stuff, like your content, your concepts, photo shoots, all that kind of stuff, then that's a creative consult, right? For others, because I think everybody has different pockets of clientele. And then there are others which is my biggest clientele, who are established already.
Okay.
But they're stumbling because they want to let go, but they don't know where they're moving forward. That's my biggest clientele. And I am like that pivot point. So I map out where they're going from where they've been, right? And I just kind of rebrand, reform what they have, system-wise, how they look, all that kind of stuff. And then we go forward. So branding is not always about design, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. Branding is not about design; it's about strategy. So if you don't have strategy, I'm gonna know your design say. Okay, can I use yellow and pink if yellow and pink don't go with you? And a lot of people just jump into design.
Right. Into the visual and don't worry.
So I think
like,
most of all,
concept.
everybody should focus on having strategy, especially if you're just starting.
Right. So, for example, pepper sauce.
Yeah.
What would be your strategy that you would? So, my old man makes pepper sauce, but he's not really selling it. So that's why this would be a perfect example of like, what would you tell him in terms of what's the best way to get it into the hands of the people?
You get a workbook. You don't. I'm gonna speak for her on this one because I've been through that. You don't. She don't tell you nothing. Is what the answer is in the most polite way.
You gonna work through it.
You get a workbook before your consult, and you have to answer a bunch of questions, and you have to personify your business. So your business.
So in your workbook, what are the different things? See, if you're trying, this is a good conversation. We're breaking it down. This will help the next entrepreneur or my dad. Who knows? So
can I give you all the secret? I'm going to look for something. Okay,
look at sample thing. Of course, you can't give away all this. Exactly, you can't. Just like you can't give away all the ingredients in the sauce, you can't give away all the ingredients to a successful business.
And thank you for joining us in this episode of Tek Thyme Podcast. Very happy. I'm joking.
So yeah, well, in the workbook, what are the things that you're looking at?
So I break down my workbooks in like 3 areas.
Okay.
Your essence, which is figuring out your why, figuring out the solution that you're providing. Like, why do I need a pepper sauce? Why your pepper sauce different from Grace pepper sauce? Right? And then you have the section where I think I call it positioning, and you talk about who you're trying to reach,
right,
and who you're appealing to,
right.
And then the last part, I just call it a style guide, so it's easier to like grasp. You want to choose things or brands or visuals that really appeal to what you're trying to sell, right? And that's where you pick and choose maybe a color here, a color there, but it's not your final thing. It's what you're gravitating towards, and it's what would speak to your product or your service.
Dope.
So, we're going with the pepper sauce here.
Yeah.
So the pepper sauce is made with home love.
What's so special about pepper sauce?
It's made with home love.
That's not special. It's made at home. That is special.
But not with the love.
That part that you can use that's a marketing like push. Right? So a lot of people always mix marketing and branding.
Okay.
But it's like two completely different things. One builds from the other.
Okay. So made at home and homemade, not quite the same.
It is, but it's how you want to use it for your brand. Like, what is the language of your brand? Because then every brand has their different communication. And how does your client speaks as well.
Okay.
Right? I know my own them kind of bougie. Them love to get alive. But them bougie. Them one where Eels got a restaurant just because. You understand? So you have to speak how they speak.
Right.
That way they can relate. You have to think about your relatability and your like, know, and trust.
Dropping gems. Gems and classic shit over
All
here.
diamond too.
Ever me?
I'm just saying.
I'm just here for food.
End the conversation. Remember, it's a 3-prong. We're 3-pronged. We're putting it.
You don't get that reference?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Because I was gonna be like, friendship dissolve.
You know I didn't.
It's okay.
Straight up, you know I didn't. You know.
You're not a
this.
theater movie lover like that.
Yeah.
You got it.
You know this.
It's not out of a K-drama, so she's not gonna get it.
Not gonna get it.
There. Annie?
Next question would be, how long have you been in business for yourself, and where do people kind of like find you, and how do you market yourself to people?
I've been in business probably about 5 years now.
Okay.
It really been longer than that, but okay.
No, under Roushelle Rain.
Okay.
I've been in business 5 years, but before it's probably an extra 3 years on top of that.
So 8 years total.
Probably, yeah.
But 5 years where it was like your current,
Roushelle Rain,
brand.
Yeah. And where people find me, as long as you spell my first name right, Roushelle, you can't miss me.
She's the first one to go up in Google.
First 3 pages. But you can find me on Instagram, YouTube, my website, www.rochellerain.com,
Cool.
or on Facebook as well.
Okay.
Right?
Under all the same name.
Everything's same name. And that's
Okay.
one thing that people should understand about branding, the consistency of things.
Right.
You should maintain a look, a feel, and a saying, right?
Right.
But yeah, that's how you can find me. And what was the other part of your question? How I market myself?
Yes.
So that's been a bit tricky. Because I'm marketing myself in the beginning.
Right.
And I do it at intervals now.
Mm.
But everything else was built on referrals and you know me.
Okay. Yeah, like
Fiona tell you about me, and you hear
Yeah.
you saw something I've done and stuff like that. And
Right.
I've had turning points in my business where I did a project and that granted me clients for like a good 6 months.
That's good. That's great.
Right? And then like last year was one of the best years because I released the pictures for my birthday and like the whole RR experience, and I was booked up for the whole year. So I was booked out 6 months in advance within a week from releasing that.
Mm.
So there are up and downs in entrepreneurship though. Not every year is gonna be like that.
Right.
Yeah. But I think marketing, now I'm gonna focus on marketing.
Okay.
Because I am switching things up a little bit different this time to move forward. So my marketing strategy and the approach will be, we're gonna do a dominating approach.
Okay.
That's what we're gonna do.
Okay, cool. So you touched on it a little bit. So like, how do you, as an entrepreneur, keep like a level head? Like, as you said, not every year is going to be the same, and things are going to always consistently going up and down, up and down. It's like, how do you keep a level head, knowing the challenges that you're going to face throughout your entrepreneurial experience?
I'm gonna have to be honest here. Fee is my level head. I'll freak out for sometimes, but when it gets to a point, then I'll freak out. And I think my level-headedness comes when everything is okay. But then it flips sometimes. So some mornings I'll be good. I'm booked out for a couple of months. I'm good. But then tomorrow I feel like discombobulated. And I'm figuring out like what's my next steps. Because I always look at December where Fee looks at next week. Right. So it's good to have someone or like a community of people there that you can talk to about your journey. And that can help you along the way. Because you need to have different people at different chapters of their lives,
right?
Because that also teaches you and it helps you to like limit the mistakes that you make too, right? My mentor is probably one of the best persons that taught me always plan for tomorrow. And the level-headedness also comes with trends, always running after what's next. Like if something is hot right now, it doesn't always mean that's for you.
Right.
Like something you just appreciate it, big up themselves, and you run with your thing.
Right.
And I think that's one thing I'm good at, which is not running on everybody's trend. I don't have time for it.
Yeah.
Right. So you need to know what's for you and what's not for you. But always, have a rainy day plan. Have something bottom line. So we talk about this a lot. So we have 3 tiers of things. Have your low cash flow, something that costs under $100, whatever it is, depending on what your business is.
Right.
Then you have something that's medium price, then you have your high ticket item. For me, I've just transitioned completely into high ticket item. Right. So you just have to know where you stand at that time.
Okay. And what would be what's like your, I guess, number one tip for, so say someone has been sitting on their idea for however long, and they're just kind of getting their feet wet into the idea of just working for themselves. What's the things that they should look out for, and like the like their number one thing they should do or like start?
Find your own strength. Like if you know that if you started the pepper sauce business and say you're good at just making the pepper sauce and marketing is not your thing, take your time to learn that, but also try to partner with somebody who does. It doesn't mean that you and them are going in the same business.
Right.
But what if you're trying to start a pepper sauce, right? Fee's good at marketing. She needs to build her portfolio. You guys can collaborate and help each other grow.
Right.
So know your strengths and know your weaknesses, because sometimes you need to learn what your weaknesses are in order to stay afloat.
I have a question. Totally off topic.
Yeah.
This is not your only business, is it? Because you do have a business that caters to every tier of financial stability, right? Even within your branding of Roushelle Rain, you have your studio art.
Studio Awry.
Studio Awry, which is a service that you give for upcoming.
Oh no! So the market.
Let's go.
Oh,
let's go.
So Roushelle Rain is like an umbrella. I've always wanted to be a conglomerate since I was 10.
So
Roushelle Rain is an umbrella.
Like she's like Tony Stark.
There.
Let's go.
Right. So then the market is for persons with a lower budget, just starting out, and they need something to just hit the market with. Right. It's like a small version of a big branding package.
Okay.
So you get your 2 different types of logos, your color palette, and your font choices. That's enough for you to go and get some templates and design what you need to design on an everyday basis. Right. And then I have Studio Awry, which is like my artwork stuff. Okay. But that's developing into more of a
Je ne sais quoi.
It's on the cusp of art and travel. So I will pick things around the world that I've seen in countries that I've been to and just share them with people. Right. So you can purchase it if you love it and stuff like that.
Oh,
so
shit!
That's coming
like
out next
photography.
Year. It could be wall art. It could be furniture. It could be all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So you just have a inventory of things.
Yeah.
That
so
trinkets and such.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
So those are the market may be dissolved moving forward because Roushelle Rain has become like more demanding. And we're moving more into like the bigger type of projects, like the entertainment project and stuff like that. And then on the flip side, I used to have a pageant. What else did I used to do?
A pageant of what? Sorry.
Why is she like this?
Of people?
I used to do an international pageant for women with like brains and talent. So not just a beauty, but like brains and talent.
Yeah. So if I was like a
hot stuff
physicist, then could juggle.
Yeah.
I could go into the.
Why are you like this?
I could go into the
pageant, but it was mainly for women.
Well, not me, but I'm saying if I was a woman.
Yes. So it was for women between the ages of 21 and I think we upped it until like 35.
Okay.
Thereabout.
It's a very large range.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you just never know when somebody's stepping into the pageant world, right? And it was pretty good for three years.
Yeah.
So it was a good run. I don't know if I'm gonna bring it back. Maybe when I'm 50 and I'm tired of running around, and I can just move that over there. Maybe I'll bring it back then, because I want it to still be like another Miss Universe kind of. That was my goal.
Say it with your chest.
That was my goal.
Sorry, I'm thinking funny.
Yeah, you can say it with your outside voice.
I wanted it to be in the top 4. Okay. So there's Miss World, Miss Universe, Miss Earth, and Miss something else, right? So I wanted it to be in the top 4.
So one of those gotta go.
Yeah, one of those gotta go.
One of those gotta get up out of there.
Yeah.
Not Miss Earth. I love Miss Earth.
I love Miss Earth.
I don't know any of them.
I would definitely
Everybody has every system has a specific reason why they choose their queen. And my reason was about their brain.
Okay.
Right? So Miss World is about charity. Miss Universe is about being a hot stuff. You need to be a brand ambassador for everything that they have underneath their belt.
Okay.
And Miss Earth is green thumbs, right?
So more Kelly, not me.
Yeah, more Kelly.
Yeah.
Right.
Kelly, if you're listening, we're about to dress it up. I joke.
Say, oh, there's Miss Jamaica.
Because imagine,
she would not be
She would be like, I'm not doing this.
This is Roushelle something. I'm not doing this. But yeah, so I've went through a few businesses over the past 10 years. I think one of my first businesses was doing hair. like
braid,
braids,
twist.
sewing. I never know if it's a Madonna or if it's twist. Up to this day, I don't know if it's twist, but I can sew in and I can and I can braid. So yeah, and I think there is I think my path is changing a bit.
Okay.
So I know the branding will always be there.
Right.
But I definitely need to have like a junior designer because I can't sit at that table anymore. I need to, my hands need to be different because our photo shoots are now in Canada while I'm not here. So now I have a team here to take care of all of that. And even though I'm the person that would pose the client, I have Ray to do that now. So I'm okay with leaving the photo shoots here.
Right.
You know, so I'm detaching myself a bit more because that's the only way you can scale. Like if your business is not scalable, you need to rethink that. Yeah.
So
right.
Did you have a tough time doing that? Because like I can imagine, you know, you're building something from its infancy and like it's nothing before you touch it, and then it becomes something, and then now you're like, it's kind of like I liken it to like a parent around their young infant, and like their kids going to school, and like, you know, we always look at it like, oh yeah, man, that's tough for the kid, but like. Also, it's mad tough for that parent because they're like,
really hard.
You know, you're like, damn, like I've been around this thing for 24/7. My hands have always been in it, and now more people are coming in. I don't know what's gonna happen, stuff like that. So like, talk to us about that experience, because like you're saying, if it's not scalable, your ceiling becomes low
because you continuously work in the business, not on the business. Right. What brought me to that point was, as you said, like last year was like a heavy set year, and even like the latter part of 2019 is like it just started from there, right? When you work in the business, it will push you to a certain point, and my point was exhaustion, to the point that I was falling asleep at photo shoots.
Oh no.
And not fall asleep like, oh yeah, you know, I'm tired. Like I'm sitting there waiting for the next outfit and I fall asleep.
Like sitting there just
sitting there.
Knock. Big snoring or no snoring?
No snoring.
Okay.
I'm cute when I sleep, you know? I'm cute. So with that,
I'm big snoring up.
yeah.
Just a resting eyes thing.
Just the resting eyes. And then I realized like, okay, no, my body really feels kind of weird. So with all of that coupled up, I decided to take a sabbatical, longer than my normal January sabbatical. But it didn't end there. I thought 1 month was okay, fine. But 1 month turned into 3, and 3 months turned into 8.
Okay.
But in about my 5th month, I have reoccurring clients, right? So she wanted to do like her life was changing. So I am very with my clients when their life changed, and her life was changing, and she needed to do one of them big shots, right? Them Oprah kind of shots, because she got a big position, some big organization. And I said, okay, cool, I'm gonna have to figure this out. However, I know my trainer Ray, he's perfect. If you guys think I'm Miss Pageant, he's Mr. Pageant. He does everything. He knows everything. So I asked Ray if he could replace me at the photo shoot so everything can run pretty smooth. And lo and behold, the photo shoot team expanded. And what they've done maybe like 4 shoots since then. Now you're a business
owner with employees.
Correct. Last month I expanded to having a designer all the way in Romania. And this guy's older than me, but he's like so flexible. Like it flowed so well. But it wasn't easy because I've had to try maybe like 2-3 different people, and the way how they design and I design, 16 completely different things.
Yeah.
It doesn't connect. Right? So it comes with a few hiccups, of course, because everything does. But you just have to take your time and do it. But again, if it is not scalable, you're gonna stay at one spot.
Right.
Like for the entirety lifespan of your business. And right now, with a couple of us designer girls, we have been having this conversation since last year, and everybody's switching things up. Some people have quit completely from design, shut down that part of their business, and one person went into jewelry and art. The other person, she's just completely teaching now. She's not taking on clients anymore. And lo and behold, they're making double what they were making before.
Okay.
So you really have to think about your escape plan as well. I don't have a set escape plan for Roushelle Rain just yet, but I know at the end of the day, 10 years from now when I start popping out these children, I want to just be a consultant. I just want to be the strategist. So you call me in, I tell you what's what, no this, yes this, I make up all these strategy and everything that you need to do, and you have your team take care of that.
Okay.
So I want to leverage my name 10 years from now. Well, more like 5 years from now. I want to leverage my name continuously, but still be making triple what I'm making now. So that's my game plan.
And that is why you need to sit with her and talk about your brand. I also wanted to point out in the conversation that it takes a lot of tries to get to the point that you want to get to. People go through... because there are points when you're doing your business just to make your you start with the pepper sauce, okay? Because you like the pepper sauce, you love it.
In the mason jar,
and it's paying the bills, right? And so you'll stick to this to pay the bills. But it doesn't mean that because you make a good pepper sauce and because you're selling the pepper sauce means that it is a business that you need to own. I think in today's society, everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. And it doesn't need to be that way. It could just be a side hustle that you're doing. And it could just be something that you did for a time. Because I did hair for a time. Right?
We all did hair for a time.
I did not.
But and to say I'm doing hair again, I enjoy doing hair, but you have to feel through a thing to see what works for you. So not because you're good at something and it's marketable means that it's a business that you need to go
business,
to.
right?
I just always want to put that disclaimer out, and that might also be a conversation that you may have with a strategist to say to you that, look, you're good at this thing, it's a good business plan, but it's not for you.
I have a client like that right now. She is flipping amazing with the knowledge and experience she has, but she would make more, do more, expand more if she was just a part of the business and not the business owner.
Right.
Because when she needs to jump, she doesn't know how to jump.
Right.
Like me, no matter just take up all of them products and no start sell them because she can make them like that.
Right.
Right. But she can't jump when she's supposed to jump, and that's the problem.
So jump when you're supposed to jump.
Yeah.
That seems to be the number one. Yeah, the number one lesson that we're taking away from here.
Jump when you're supposed to jump. Your business needs to have longevity and expandability for it to really, really serve the purpose that you're looking for.
Because every single thing changes. Roushelle today is not Roushelle a year ago. Roushelle 2 years ago.
Roushelle yesterday.
That too.
And what brands need right now might not be what they need next year.
And every brand needs something different. Like somebody messaged me this morning. She is a fabulous marketing manager. Amazing. But if your brand is a mess, and it's not a mess from her marketing standpoint because everybody knows about her.
Right.
But it's a mess from her presentation standpoint. So everything has to be tailored according to your own needs.
Okay. Mic drop. Knowledge bombs.
Well, we will have the handles.
Yes. Anywhere you can find her, we will have it.
Just spell my first name right.
ROAPS.
Oh my god.
I
was like, wait. I was like, I don't think that's right. After she said A, I was like, I don't think that's right. But I'm like, yeah, that's your friend. You probably are right, but
she has a habit now.
Huh?
She has a habit when somebody's spelling my name, she goes, excuse me. It's not so.
It's so funny. So it's we have like a core 4 of us. So it's me, Roushelle, Kelly, and Tiana. And it's so funny, it's so bad to the point where like we will, if I see like Kelly's butter somewhere, like I automatically go, excuse me, this don't look right. And if I because I know exactly what each of them wants, which is also really good. Get your tribe to if I see you spell Rochelle's names wrong, if I see if in the same way if they see something that is associated with meat don't look right,
that's also a part of your brand as a personal brand too. Like building that personal brand, I think she probably the best person to explain my personal brand. I'm not for the nonsense. I'm not for the bullshit. And if you spell my name wrong, I'm not answer. Point blank, period.
She's terrible sometimes.
Right? Like everybody has their specific personal brand.
Which is different from your business brand.
Completely different.
And it's also different from your product brand. So that's the next thing too that you have
There's
to take.
tiers.
There's tiers to brand.
If your business is personified from you,
that's
like me
problematic.
from my business, then it can be problematic, yes, but you have to know what's for your business and what's for you. Not because me like pink, that means that everything in my business is like pink.
Right.
But my brand itself is not some loud looking pink. It is very soft, dusty, rose gold, pink, and white. And a splooks of magenta. Right?
Just a splooks.
It's a
Splooks. Like my hair should be like my hair should be magenta and I should be in full white. That's my brand, right? So it just really depends.
Oh. Well,
I hope you guys learned something from this. You didn't hear my voice, and that's because I was out here taking notes and listening. As all the old heads used to say, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth.
for a reason.
So you should listen twice as much as you talk. So I hope you guys got a lot from this.
That was beautiful.
Thanks. It's not mine. It's not original. I
know, but the
from
way
old
you said
head.
it. Take a compliment.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All of Roushelle's information is going to be in the bio, so you can find her, hit her up. She will send you a workbook, and hopefully you guys can build beautiful partnerships. I'm looking forward to all the different businesses, brands, collaborations, just all the beautiful, fruitful things that can come about these different type of conversations. Roushelle, anything you want to leave the people with before we get up out of here?
Find your thing.
Find your thing.
Like find your one thing. And run with it.
A beautiful sentiment. So that's been the episode. Thank you for joining us.
Kamsahamnida for having me.
And just remember, there's always room to take time.
Take time with us. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Thanks for tuning in. Share and subscribe to become part of the community. We'll see you next time. And remember, no matter how crazy life gets, there's always room to take time.